Good morning, everybody. Today, my mission is to tell you my story, share with you my inspiration, and hopefully it will inspire you. Everybody is unique. Nobody's the same. Everybody has strengths and weaknesses. Everybody that may have disabilities, there are different types of disabilities. Verbal, nonverbal disabilities. You could see if a person has a handicap, like a wheelchair, but then there's also people that may have a learning disability that you do not know anything about until you get to know the person. So many people have different types of disabilities. My goal here is to tell you my story, but also to tell you what strategies that I have learned through the years through working with teachers, educators, to make me succeed where I needed to be to succeed. My story. On the morning of December 22nd, 1983, with thoughts of Christmas, I was an excited 6-year-old pretending to be Black Beauty while waiting patiently for my mother to put on her makeup. Finally, we trotted downstairs and I had my mid-morning snack. I was very lucky during the holidays. I was allowed to choose my mid-morning snack. I chose vanilla ice cream at that time. In the middle of eating my ice cream, out of the blue, my head flew into the ice cream and flew back, and I toppled off the chair. For a moment, my mother thought I was joking because I was a little bit of a joker of a kid. But after a moment, my mother realized that I wasn't myself. And she called 911, and the ambulance came and took me to the hospital. After a little bit, the doctors did a couple CAT scans and check on me and determined that I had a cerebral aneurysm on the left side of my brain, and they needed to operate. The operation took over 8 hours, and the doctors were not sure what was going to happen, if I would either survive and what the outcome would be. That evening, when my parents drove home, it was very, very cold outside in the night, driving on Highway 40, and my parents saw this bumper sticker, and it said, "Expect a miracle." And from that, my parents sort of took that to their thinking process on how we're going to work with Natalie, and how are we going to help her, and be optimistic. Believe that anything could happen, and believe that we could improve. Never doubt your ability. Later on, a few days later, I did wake, and I realized something was wrong. I knew I was in the hospital. What I realized was I lost my language. I lost able to talk. Just yabba yabba came out of my mouth, not real words at all. I knew who people were, but I lost the language and the vocabulary for it. I knew who my mother was, but I didn't know the word mother. It was like I came into another country and forgot the language or don't know the language. So it was very frightening. In addition to, I couldn't walk at all. My whole right side was numb, and so I had to relearn that. After a couple days, the doctors would come in and check on me, and they would say, "Where's your nose? Can you point to your nose?" And as a 6-year-old, I was thinking, I know I should know this. I know I should know this. Where's my nose? But somehow I didn't, because I didn't remember the vocab for nose at that time, because my whole brain was scattered. And it was like a file cabinet that fell over, and all the information is all scattered, not organized anymore. Also, I didn't have very much language ability right after my aneurysm, but somehow I could say a couple words. And I said, "Thank you" and "excuse me." I don't know why I could say those things, but I could. But I mixed them up. So it was right during the holidays, and I would get a gift, and I would say, "Excuse me," when I said thank you. Or I would burp, and I would say, "Thank you." Another disability that I have a part of is aphasia. And oftentimes I mix words up, or I can't come up with that word at that moment. I can't describe the noun or describe the thing. I can describe everything around it, but I can't find the exact word. So oftentimes I would come up with other words, like for quicksand, I would say fast sand. So we would all know what it is, but we know it's not correct. I would go to restaurants, and my mother said, "Would you like some French fries?" And I'm like, did I like French fries before? What did French fries look like? My mother would have to show me what a French fry should be. So those things took a while to recover and start remembering. When my friends were learning how to bicycle at 6, I was relearning my fruits and vegetables again. But we kept our humor in our family, and we kept laughter, and humor is a good asset for at least our family to keep up the hopes and keep up the little humors throughout. It helped us survive through the difficult times. After a couple of weeks in the hospital with a lot of OT-PT therapy, I finally got home. And right when I drove home and got to the house, I was happy. I knew I was home, and my parents knew that was the right place for me to go back home. But it didn't stop there. I had a lot of occupational and physical therapy several times a week, relearning how to walk again, talk again, do the basic needs that most people experience or learn over time. But I'm relearning it again. Then that spring, I had to find out what school I would go to, and they didn't know how to assess it. And they found a school, Central Institute for the Deaf, that their gear is to assess students that are nonverbal. And they chose to use them for assessments, and they found, and about halfway into my assessments, the headmaster at that school at that time, Jean Moog, decided, I think we could have Natalie in your school. I think, we could work her in. Our goal is to language for our students, and we'll get Natalie in. And I couldn't thank her enough to give me a chance. And it was really an amazing program, and it was really helpful for me for 2.5 years. I had one speech pathologist there, was Vicki Kozak, and she is amazing. And she kept the humor, and she made me feel very accomplished and knew I could succeed and get a little better each time. She had a meeting with my parents a couple months in, and she said, "Now, are you sure you want your child to learn how to talk again? You have the option to have a mute, instead of having a kid that doesn't stop talking like I am." Later on, when in the school, I was the only child that I wasn't hearing impaired. So oftentimes, many of the teachers would sort of forget that I wasn't hearing impaired. And I would hear gossip, stories of the teachers talking about their lives or about different kids or which kids are in trouble and stuff. And that would be extra fun for me because I would get the extra scoop or who's doing bad in school and stuff. So that was quite interesting. Through the years, I've had amazing teachers, outstanding teachers, and educators that were there helping me. I mean, I would bend over backwards to do extra work and stuff, but they would be there for me. Majority of education or teachers, tutors, they're there to help. They're there to want to teach you. They may have the key to unlock your potential. So don't think of these teachers as difficult or anything, because they may have the key to get in to your mind. I had one great teacher, a math teacher, Paul Kasuth, and he was outstanding. I was having problems in some math problem, and I was really having a hard time, and he said, "Okay, let me find a different way to approach this or to teach you this task, instead of putting it on me to make me feel guilty that I'm not understanding it." And I really, really appreciated his view of that positive thinking and didn't put the guilt on me. And also, I had an amazing horse teacher, therapist, or horse rider teacher that I horse rode, and it was her way or the highway. If I was ever in ever had to do something, she told me I had to do it, and having a disability isn't an excuse. And I really appreciated that because it never made me feel like I was disabled. It made me feel like I'm learning how to ride as a normal kid, and I really appreciated her not judging me and not coddling me about horseback riding, that it was some passion I really loved. And I cannot thank her enough. I cannot thank my parents and the teachers and other educators that I have interacted with throughout my 30 plus years. I couldn't have done it without them. And you need to use them as a team. And you need to use the parents and the teachers as a team for you. Because everybody together can make your success the best and the best options for you. You want to work together as a team. For me, I went all the way through my master's. I live in Southern Illinois, have a horse therapy program. I just published a book, working for children, strategies for success. And I have a beautiful son and a husband, and even I still ask for help. And it's okay to ask for help at any time. Everybody asks for help. If you have a disability, you need to embrace it. And it is part of you, but also celebrate every moment of achievement, even little ones. Pat it on your back. Reward yourself, because everything is difficult, and everything can be difficult in different times, but you need to remember all the good times and good rewards. If you do have a disability, you need to learn and understand your disability so you can advocate for yourself, to tell your coach or tell your teacher if you need different services. Explain to your coach, I have a reading issue, can you read the handout you have for us or something, because it will help you to self-advocate, but allow the teacher or the coach or anybody you interact with that they feel, oh, how can I help you? They can't, unless they know you, they wouldn't know how to help you. And they want to help you. They're all here to help. It is just fine to ask people about their disability. Be curious. It's just fine. Don't be scared. Most people that have a disability are totally willing to tell them their story, tell them about themselves. Don't be scared. If you see somebody in a wheelchair, ask them. And in a nice way, they would be most of the time, they would be loving to tell you the story and share. And even in that situation, you may have a new friend. May learn something new too. As learn something every day is a great thing. In my experience, over time, if I have a friend that has a disability, after a while, I kind of forget that they have a disability. It's just one aspect of the person, and I really get to know the person as a whole. Or, as you may know, some of your friends have some corny characteristics or something funny or corny or something that bother you, but then over time you sort of forget about those things because you love them as a good friend and you sort of forget those aspects. My main mission is, remember, everybody is unique. Remember, life would be so boring if everybody was the same. That's why God put us on this earth, to be all unique. And everybody has different strengths and weaknesses. If you have a disability, do not think of it as a limitation at all. I want you to embrace it. Be proud of yourself as you as an individual. And work hard and believe in a miracle and possibilities. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.